Welcome to one of our bigger categories in terms of sheer amounts, but when we break it down and really look at it, there's really five things competing in here. So, what are we talking about? Baling. We have lots of baling tech. Our winner from last season was the Arcusen round bale stacker. That won because I don't recall there being anything else last season. This was it. It stacks round bales, which is great because otherwise there was no way to get round bales anywhere. This season has turned us into baling fools. We got baling stuff everywhere. So let's go through the contestants. The first, starting with this bale pusher, the Heath Super Chaser, and these three identically shaped, and they are identical, large stackers. This is the extreme baling pack or large baling pack. And that is, yeah, that's one pack. I swear there was another part of that pack, but I don't think there is. This 16-foot bale trailer and this John Deere, as well as this fork here. Yeah, I know it. I forgot about it. That is from the small farm pack. These two Fleming bale thingies, bale haulers. This spike, this Nugent bale spike. This trailer here. Run over here. This trailer here. The McHale baler, and this, which is a really awesome grabber nom nom tool. That's the anti-modding bale pack. That creates a smaller round bale than the in-game bale, which is helpful on smaller farms. We also have the Friedel Quadra baler, which is a self-propelled baler. It produces game-sized bales, but it's self-propelled. There you go. Now these are all in-game pieces of equipment. So you're like, well, what? But these are hireable. This is the hireable pack or the straw mod. This allows you to purchase these things. For instance, one of these balers goes for, you buy it for 600, you sell it for 300, but the rent is exorbitant, several $100s an hour. So it's very expensive, but if you're just baling a little bit, it's an economical solution if you're just trying out baling. Maybe what I should have done in Kansas. And it also is good if you're just getting started. So that being said, let's go ahead and start placing some awards. The first is this John Deere baler along with its trailer and its bale spiker thing over there. Now, the giant pack has a baler and bale picker-upper, an auto picker, an auto stacker. The auto stacker is really nice, and actually so is the baler. And this baler also is very nice. It is fully animated. The little time things there go up and down. You see stuff moving throughout. Excuse me, and that is really cool. I do like it. Placing it up against the giant old time, I think it's an honorable mention. I do prefer the giant has the auto stacker. I don't like that, the PTO goes into the middle of a warning sign and little nitpicks. It's an honorable mention. There's nothing wrong with it per se. I would just go with the one from Giant because, well, it has an auto stacker. And the trailer goes along with the John Deere, and so does that spike back there next to the Crone. And that's the other problem, is you actually need the modern equipment to load the bales. Kind of a downer. So there you go. I mean, I know you can get a mod that would do that, but it wasn't included with the pack. So that gets an honorable mention. I like it, but not enough to supplant what you can get from Giant. Let's go with this Fent or Friddle Quadra baler. I'm actually going to give this one I was going to say an honorable mention. Should I give it an honorable mention? What do we think? Honorable mention? I can't walk through it except for places where I actually expect to walk through it. Yeah, I'll give it an honorable mention. I mean, it works. It does what it's supposed to do. Um, I don't see a use for it per se on most farms. Maybe you would find a use for it, but I don't. I'll give it an honorable mention. It does everything it was advertised to do. If it had like a hitch or something where I could like put a bar on it to put an auto stacker behind it, that would be like the perfect world. Right now, you need to follow behind it with the Arcusin stacker. So I'll give it an honorable mention. The straw mod, I'm also going to give the straw mod an honorable mention. I mean, there's nothing new here. It's the in-game stuff. I'm giving it an honorable mention because it lets you get into bales without outlaying the $200,000 it takes to buy a baseline crone and an Arcusin auto stacker, or the 150,000 or so it takes for a baseline crone, a bale trailer, and that cheap articulated front end loader that everybody hates. So it's great if you're just starting out and you just want to get started in bales. And for that, I give it an honorable mention. It does its job, it does it well. So this really comes down to which is more amazing in terms of what it adds to the game. Because we are going to kick this one to the curb, such as it is. It is not going to win this season. It's not going to hold its crown. It's going to lose its crown. The question is, does it lose its crown to the extreme baling pack, or does it lose its crown to the anti-modding with the McHale round baler? Now, a lot of you during the anti-modding mod spotlight, y'all just love the fact that I was a failure over and over and over again. Well, yes, I was, and part of it is because, well, I never worked around round bales before. So, yeah, I failed. But that doesn't mean the round bale pack is bad. In fact, I really do like the anti-modding round bale pack. It's a really great mod. For a small farm, it's a great mod. I have had minor problems with the nom device here, the bale grabber, clipping, and I had problems with the Fleming here hooking up to some things, but it's not enough to totally detract from this. So the anti-modding pack is a strong contender, and we have the extreme baling pack. Y'all saw me use this in the Kansas Let's Play. It's great for big fields because these are big bales. These are huge bales when it comes down to it. And you can clean them out. You can clean out these balers. It's really a nice pack. So with that in mind, I'm going to give a dual award here. Both the Extreme Baling Pack and the Anti-Modding Baling Pack are going to get awards for baling technology. They are going to replace this Arcusin round bale stacker. While this adds something to the game, I think both the Anti-Modding and the Extreme Baling Pack add more to the game than the round bale stacker. So there you go, twin awards for the Anti-Modding Baling Pack and the Extreme Baling Pack. Honorable mention for the Quadra Baler, honorable mention for the Straw Mod, and an honorable mention both in the Total Pack and in the Ye Olde Time packs for the John Deere along with its trailer and its picker-upper over there. So there we go. That is the baling category, and we're going to move on to our next category. This is another one of our interesting categories, and I kind of had to split a category apart and make some real decisions. And this category is my hauling category. Now, we have a grain category where we had the container mods from last season. We had the transport professionals, which had trailers and trucks, those man trucks that could be used. Now, this category is really focused on vehicles that are merely semi-cabs, useful for hauling grain trailers. And we have 3. We have the Western Star from the Convoy movie, the big old Mack truck here. We have the Actros from Actrosine. And we have the Peterbilt. And the Peterbilt's from FSUK and is from Peter Peterbilt. Yeah. All right, so let's start with our, you notice I'm kind of looking over here. I'm actually looking over here for a very good reason. We're going to start with our dishonorable mention, and our dishonorable mention goes to that stupid Western Star. It's kind of hard for you to tell. I can tell because I can see my FPS numbers because of fraps. My frames per second plummet when I look at this Mack truck. Now, when I take a 20 to 25 frame per second hit on one mod on my machine, I know it's a problem. Now, it might not always be a problem on your machine. It could be conflicting with other mods, but I don't have any other mods that hit me this hard on FPS drop. So I'm going to give it a dishonorable mention. It also bounces. It's doing a little bounce right now. Interior is, well, tragic. To say the least, it's tragic. I like that it's got mirrors that sort of work, but other than that, there's not much to really recommend it. Actros. I'm actually going to just give this one a, it gets a dishonorable mention. Honestly, what's the point? It's almost $400,000 for this truck. The look at the low res up there. You get inside, ew. And then you look down here. There's a Scania steering wheel on a Mercedes Actros truck. Really? We couldn't have fixed that. Also, somebody pointed out in the comments for the spotlight, that's a Scania logo. So someone didn't really fix that. It's also just massively overpriced. It's cheaper to go get the man truck off the Transport Professionals. In fact, you can get 3 man trucks off Transport Professionals basically for the price of this thing. So there's no point. The res textures are excessively low, even with Mr. Bibidendum up there. I think that was his name, Bibidendum, the Michelin tire man. He actually has a name. I think it's Bibidendum. I'll have to ask Das. Her dad worked at a Michelin plant. All right, so now that brings us to the Peterbilt. Now, the Peterbilt, I actually do like the Peterbilt. It looks right-ish. I mean, even though it has no drive shaft. Notice the lack of a drive shaft going from the wheel bogies forward. That's kind of problematic. The interior isn't exactly the most high-res thing in the world, but it works. It works well. The air brakes are kind of derp, but would I give it an award? No. I'd give it an honorable mention. What I would tell you to do is go get the Transport Professionals pack and use the man trucks. The man trucks, really nice. The Peterbilt is nice, but it's not really nice. So unless you're going for an American farm, if you're going for a very American farm, the Peterbilt makes sense. I do see these running around here in Colorado hauling grain trailers, especially these day cab styles. So an honorable mention for the Peterbilt, dishonorable mentions for both the Actros and the Mack truck. The Actros for low res textures and being overpriced and ridiculous. The Mack truck for being a giant FPS hog and low res interior and bouncy and stuff like that. Recommendation, go get the Transport Professionals out of Season 1. Use that man truck. Much better. Alright, we'll be back with our next category. Welcome to one of the more maddening categories that I had this season. The winners are sitting here. We've got the Govee trailer and the Cane Low Loader. These really set the standard for high quality vehicle transport mods. Both very nice. Yes, I had a problem with the Govee. You can go watch that video. I did do the spinning pirouetting tractor thing, but that was my fault for the way I tried to load a seeder on here. But I've found great use for both of these. You can lock a container onto the Govee trailer from the container pack, as long as you have a heavy enough tractor to haul it. The cane, I've used it constantly. I think at one point I had 4 of them running around my mod farm to try to get stuff everywhere. So these are really great trailers. Now, I was trying to replace that with some big, powerful vehicles, some nice transport vehicles. And yeah, this disaster is what I ended up with. Let's start with this Mammoet, which I lovingly called a marmot. And it will continue to be a marmot because it is nothing but a rodent. I never got it to really hook up. You can hook it up to some things. I believe you can actually hook it up to the Ford F350. It hooks onto the rear hitch. It's a 2011 port that was poorly done, basically. And once you get it hooked up, there's really, how do you load the thing other than the fact it's currently clipped in, so it's really easy to load, which is ridiculous in and of itself. So yeah, this one doesn't even get a dishonorable mention. It gets a don't even bother award. This should hook up into a fifth wheel. It should hook onto that Kraz truck. It should hook onto any of those transport trucks we cover. The man trucks. It should hook onto those, but it doesn't. And that's a problem. It's a poor port. Don't bother. Next in line, we have a gooseneck trailer, a PJ gooseneck trailer. I really like the modeling of the wood. It's really nice. It is goosenecked. It doesn't work with the F350 because the F350 doesn't have a gooseneck hitch on it, even though it looks like it does. But you can hook it up to the man truck. You can hook it up to any of those pieces of equipment. It works well. There's really nothing overly wrong with this trailer. I like it, though I don't see it necessarily replacing these two over here. So I'm going to give it an honorable mention. I like the decking. I think it would be really great. Get the F350 to work with it. That would be even better, though the 350 would probably bottom out. Yeah. Honorable mention. This is the die plander that goes with this trailer here. This came in the pack with that Western Star. Again, looks to be a nice mod. I put stuff up on here and it doesn't feel quite finished. There's just something about it that bugs me. The fact that the die plander is upside down, you cannot fix that, by the way. That's how the thing spawns in actually up there somewhere and falls to earth and ends up upside down. So the only way you can really haul it is to put a truck underneath it. And the ramps are monolithic and all of that. I'm not sold on it as a replacement. I mean, the tires, look at the tires. Really? So yeah, it's also not legal because there's no tags on it. No tags, not legal. It could haul the big stuff though. You could certainly use it for hauling the beet harvester or whatever if you wanted to. Though no, I don't want to. We'll come back to that one in a minute. This Iveco auto transporter thing. It takes luck and luck to get this transport bed on the back of this thing, because it actually spawns in hovering just about the height of this rear deck on this thing. So you actually have to do some acrobatics to get this stupid thing on there. Once you get it on there, what are you hauling with it? Well, I can haul some tractors, but whatever I haul on here has to be roll on, roll off. Honestly, I mean, and then once I lock it down, I'm limited in speed. Now, if you go look at the video where I actually tried this and I transported the silo weasel on this thing, it had a speed limit on it. It wasn't very fast. In fact, it was so slow that I would just hook whatever I was transporting on this to the Agovi trailer, put it on a Hurleyman, and away I go. Done. Bish bash bosh. So I'm not sold on that. And additionally, I hate the interiors that these vehicles often have. Yeah, it also has a Scania wheel, even though it's not a Scania truck. Kraz. This Kraz truck and trailer, which is clipped into the ground. Meh. And this dolly for trailer towing. The trailer can only be used on the Kraz truck without the dolly. Once you hook the dolly on, of course, you can hook anything that has a pin hitch to it, which is great. But you can't use that trailer with the man truck because the hitch is way too high. It's high up for the Kraz truck. The Kraz truck is okay. I mean, it has some problems like this ceiling, which is just spooky. But there's a bigger problem with the Cross truck. It actually has a large number of performance errors. Not just a truck, but the trailer and the dolly all have performance errors. The log gets filled up with these performance errors. Once you have a bunch of mods that have performance errors, you are actually going to start seeing degradation to your game. I am no longer going to give, I'm going to look any mod that has performance errors with a critical eye. Clean that up, and this could be a great mod. Get that trailer to not clip in when I buy it. It would be an even better mod. In fact, I'd give it an award if that trailer wasn't clipped in like that, if there were no performance errors. I'd give it like a double award if they get the stupid leopard print interior out of that truck, because that's just creepy and weird. I do wish the trailer worked on the regular trucks. I'd be willing to forgive it if there weren't the performance errors. I'm going to give the Kraz a mention. A mentionable honorable mention, maybe? No, I'll just give it a mention. I'm going to give it a mention. If you check your log and you have like no performance errors off of any of your mods, the Kraz truck is worth it. If you have performance errors, this is only going to exacerbate any hits you have in performance. So we're going to give it a mention. This trailer, I'm going to give it, I'll give it a mention as well. It looks nice, but it's not quite there yet. I don't feel. The Stralis auto thingamajiggy thing here, I'm going to give it a dishonorable mention. I mean, it really doesn't serve any purpose that I can't serve with a Hurleyman and a Govee trailer, and it's also hopping. This Dieplander, just ignore it. What did I give this thing? I'm going to give it an honorable mention if I didn't say already. I think it's worthwhile to have on the farm. It'll be even better once there's some more trucks that have fifth wheels on them that I can hook this up to. I think it'll be really nice. And I love the wood grain. The wood grain just, that's so nice. Such a good job. It does have conflicts with some of my other mods at times, and it gets like this weird wobbly thing going on. But it seems to be okay right now. The Marmot here, don't bother. It gets a don't bother. Once they port it forward properly, get it to not clip in, and maybe allow it to hook to a truck, then maybe we can talk. But until then, don't even bother. To that end, the Govee trailer and the Cane Lolo, they keep their crowns, their joint crown. Nothing really supplants them. They can be towed by just about anything you get, and you can haul just about anything on these guys without a problem. So there you go. Mention for the Kraz, clean up the performance errors. We can talk about increasing that. A mention for that trailer there. Dishonorable mention for the Stralis. Ignore the Dieplander. An honorable mention for the PJ Gooseneck, and a don't bother for the Marmot. Alright, we'll go grab ourselves another category. This category is a category I just invented, because I can invent categories whenever I feel like it. I invented it while looking at a cow, so it's called the Utter category. Ha ha ha. No, it's the Other category. This is stuff that didn't really fit anywhere, but still I did at some point during a mod spotlight, so I need to give it something. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. We've got the power washer, the Karcher power washer. We have the Krone clutch for the Krone Big X. We have the MCAT, the Kraz crane truck, which is a big behemoth of a vehicle. We have the Silo Weasel, Silo Mat, which runs like a weasel. We have fertilizer and seed trailers that came from the small farm pack. And we have a Murray lawnmower. What are we going to do with this category? Well, let's go ahead and give... we're going to give a mention to the Murray lawnmower. It works. It cuts grass. You can't save the grass clippings. They never said you could. It operates. It does what it's supposed to do. It's better to just go get the Profi Hopper and save the grass clippings and use them. So it gets a mention. These two trailers could be very useful. Their capacity is limited, but if you needed to have some trailers positioned out by a far field, you could buy a bunch of these and throw them out there. There are better ways to do that. It's also helpful in that the old-time seeders and fertilizer spreaders don't have a lot of capacity. So I can go ahead and run out with these, and then I can refill out at the field, which is useful. For that, they get an honorable mention. Especially when you look at old-time equipment, I would give these an honorable mention. The Silo Weasel. I really want to give it a dishonorable mention just for the thing that's on the guy's shirt because it annoys me. No need to look at it any more than I as already in the video. It didn't really do much of anything. I mean, it's an expense in your farm when you can just run over your silage with a tractor. So, meh. Also, the guy in there, you actually like body snatch him. You take over his body. It looks really weird and it's kind of goofy. I'm going to give it just a mention, I guess. I'll just give it a mention. It does its job, but its job is limited, and I'd rather just use something like a Hurleyman and run over my silage, honestly. So, just a mention for the Silo Mat, Silo Weasel, whatever you want to call it. Next, next we have our crane. Now this thing gave me fits. I couldn't get it to work in the mod spotlight in which I actually spotlighted this. But if you remember, that mod spotlight was a disaster from the beginning, so there was a constant struggle. I do know it does work. I've seen pictures and little snapshots of it actually working. Here's the thing though. We come back to what use can this have on my farm? What can I do with this? I can pick stuff up, but then what do I do with it? I don't know. I don't see a reason for it beyond it's a really neat crane and it has a whole bunch of controls. The beet thingamajiggy, we could at least make a case for it being useful. I can't make that case here. It feels like something I should see on a construction site, not on a farm. You might find a use for it. I could see if you needed to pick something up and put it in a cow pasture, but I don't know why you'd need to do that. So I'm also going to give it just a mention. There's nothing terribly wrong with it. It's just I don't see its usefulness on the farm. That brings us to these two. The clutch and the Karcher, the power washer. Now, by itself, the power washer, useless. What am I going to do with it? But the small farm pack, a lot of that stuff is washable. There's a lot of new tractor mods coming out that are washable. The Ford F350 is washable. There's a lot of equipment coming out that's washable to add to the realism of your farm. If you want to clean it, you have two options. You either drive it into the river and reset it, which doesn't feel very practical, or you get this mod to wash your tractors. And I kind of like that. I like the concept of you having to wash down your equipment. It adds to the realism of the farm, and it does its job. It has a small log air around UV out of bounds. The same is actually true of the clutch, but it's not performance-based errors, so I'm willing to overlook those a little bit. That kind of moves us to the clutch, and notice I haven't given an award yet. We've moved to the clutch. The clutch is great for the crone if you're going to be doing the silage harvesting yourself and you don't want to hire somebody. You can clutch the crone and then put a trailer on it. The thing is, that crone can't turn for diddly when it has a trailer on it. It makes it just an absolute nightmare to try to manage around the fields. But it works. It does exactly what it's advertised to do, and it does add something to the game. It adds your ability to clutch something onto the back of your crone. For that, both this clutch and the power washer, I'm going to give them awards because they add something to the game. Now, the power washer requires you to actually have washable mods in the game. There are more and more of those coming out, so I don't feel too out of sorts putting this as an awarded mod. And the Chrome clutch, well, the Chrome clutch just makes sense. Just know it clips in when you first get it, but after you, I actually had to get a crone out here to pop it up onto the tarmac here. Once you've done that, it stays on the tarmac. It does hover above its pallet, but not everything is perfect. So yeah, there we go. An award for the power washer and for the Chrome clutch. A mention for the crane. A mention for the silo weasel. An honorable mention for these two trailers in the old time category. And a mention for this Murray lawnmower. So we'll be back with our next category.